guys, we are in this. This is happening right now. Okay. This is the Star Wars The Force Awakens panel. I know a lot of you oh, there's the graphic that proves I'm not lying. I'm not a liar. I know a lot of you guys waited a long time to be here. I mean, like, decades, really. And so I'm also here to tell you that you're not going to be disappointed. And I want you to know before we get into this really quickly, and it's not about me, but I just want you to know how special and how emotional this is for me. I am old enough to have seen Star Wars in the theater, which is... Why would you cheer that? It sucks to get older, but here we are. My dad took me, I stood on the seat, it completely changed my life and informed pretty much everything that came after, and I know the experience is the same for you. So there's going to be some amazing things that are going to happen, and someday you will look back and get to and your grandkids will be like, shut up, Grandpa, I was at the Force Awakens panel back in 15, and they'll be like, shut up. So I want you to really think about this and experience it and enjoy it as it's happening, okay? Because this is an experience that just this group of us will have for the rest of our lives. So with that, I would now like to introduce and bring out to the stage Kathleen Kennedy. A man by the name of J.J. Abrams. And Mr. Lawrence Kasdan.
Oh, you're welcome.
Oh, did you give him donuts?
The donuts and the coffee.
Thank you.
I mean, I feel like they were gonna see the movie anyway, but that's very nice of you. I was on the fence, but he gave me donuts, so I guess I'm gonna see Star Wars. I want to start. I'm sure they were good. All right, Kathleen, I want to start with you, and I want you to talk a little bit about how. I mean, you know, Star Wars is one of the things that helped usher in the Comic-Con age. So, can you sort of talk about the fandom and the presence of Star Wars throughout the years?
Now, obviously, I think a lot of people out there know that Star Wars is 100% dependent on the fans in this room and all over the world since 1976. In fact, when the movie was ready to come out, it was really the fans that built the momentum around the release of New Hope. So we are right back in full circle, and we want to say thank you to all of you.
Yeah. So, just to give us a timeline, because we're still a handful of months out from being able to see this, are you freaking out? Where are you in production? What point?
We're editing. We have a cut of the movie. We're in this extraordinary moment where we're doing fine tuning, and I say extraordinary because in this business, a lot of times there are release dates before there are scripts, and to have the time and to have Disney give us the time to do it right is not a small thing. And so we're working hard to make the movie more of what it wants to be.
Great. Mr. Kasdan?
Yes.
Welcome, by the way. I don't think you've been to a Comic-Con before, have you? He's... Technically, you're our dad in a weird sort of way.
Not in age, no.
No. But can you talk a little bit about when you guys... I mean, first of all, I think you need to understand about JJ is that he really cares about this a lot. It's as important to him as it is to you and to me. And so I want to talk about the experience of you guys coming together, you bringing in Legacy Star Wars, and then JJ, you taking on the responsibility of meeting together and figuring out how to bring new characters into the universe.
Yeah, well, the guy that brought me in is the genius that brings us all here, was George Lucas. He was absolute breakthrough monster genius, and none of us would be here if it weren't for him. And he called me and said, will you do this for me? And we started to do Empire Strikes Back, and then we did Return of the Jedi, and then 30 years passed, and those movies just like never went out of my life or my consciousness. And then a call came again and said, will you come back and meet these characters again 30 years later? So there wasn't even any disjunction between my life and this timeline. And when we got JJ to say he would do that, I went berserk. Because
In a bad way.
In a bad I thought he was the funniest, most talented, most perfect choice for this movie. And then he and I wound up spending a year walking around, writing, figuring it out, and it's been a total gas.
JJ, how do you push the fandom out of the way to focus on the work when you're working with Larry?
I mean, Star Wars is, like you said, it's something that is so deeply ingrained and so important to so many people. You know, I asked my mom to make me a Jawa costume for my 13th Halloween, and I did the eyes, but she did the costume, and it was great. And I've been a fan since I was a little kid, and there is nothing normal about getting to write a movie with Lawrence Kasdan. There's nothing normal about getting to work with Kathleen Kennedy or to direct a Star Wars movie. I mean, I've sat down with John Williams to show him scenes from a Star Wars movie he hadn't seen yet, that I directed. There's nothing normal about any of what's been happening, including this moment. And by the way, you guys look awesome, and thank you for waiting so long to be here. It's really...
I think one of the things that's been so fun to watch is you really seeded out a lot of the stuff. I mean, you put stuff out on Instagram, and I know you made this great Omaze video, and when people started to see glimpses of what you were building, and they saw, holy crap, he's actually built, like, these are practical effects. We're seeing, like, real things, which is astonishing these days. And
well, it's an important piece of this, and we've talked about it a little bit, but we did this video for UNICEF through this group Omaze, and it was a really successful endeavor. We raised $5 million, thanks to your help, for UNICEF at Innovation Labs, and it's a big deal, so thank you for that. But when we first started shooting the movie, we did this video that went out where we were on in Abu Dhabi, and I was standing there, and there was a creature in the scene, and some people, there it is. And some people were saying, oh, great, you know, you made creatures, and other people thought, oh, it's a CG thing, and we wanted to show you it wasn't CG, and this is just one of many characters. So we actually brought this character we call Baba Joe as a nickname. So should we bring Baba Joe out?
yeah, I think so, absolutely.
All right, everyone cross their fingers. Cross your fingers. Here we go. All right, so this character, here he comes.
Amazing.
This character is built by Neil Scanlon and the Creature Department. Let's see this work.
So,
Okay, yeah, Neil Scanlon. These guys have done an unbelievable job, as you can see. We're gonna hope that he does not fall off the stage here, so I'm just kind of
I'm keeping an eye on him, and I will give my life to save him.
Yeah, Baba Joe's a little slow, so we're just gonna give him a little.
So,
How's it going? Good to see you. Hi, how are you? Hello, how are you doing? Don't eat that, don't eat that. So, this is one of hundreds of creatures that they built for this film. And what's amazing is seeing the people who operate these things. And the real benefit of having creatures like this, you can see that character right there. You know, there are 5 people who are operating that creature. And a lot of these creatures are background creatures. They're not even the main event. But what's so cool about them is it gives the actors who are in scenes things to actually deal with, interact with, play with, respond to. It also helps even things like light, the way light reflects on the set and on the characters. So it's a big deal. All these characters, these creatures you're seeing
No, and it's
were built.
amazing too, because even though we decided not to use CG, the robotic technology has really advanced, as you can see.
Well, yeah, I mean, and especially. Oh, he's gonna walk all the way back across. Please don't fall this time.
This is where it gets ugly.
But
This is not easy.
for anyone who grew up with the original Star Wars, and it was part of the charm of the movie, was being able to see these characters look as though they had come to life. And I think CG certainly has its place, but seeing a practical effect, I mean, even seeing him wiggle his nose in that way, it does something emotionally that reminds us of the first time we saw
friends.
Star Wars.
And the friends.
And the little friends along the side.
And there you go. Uh-oh.
Okay. Oh, you
Oh,
rest
dear
him.
God.
All right. Excellent. And you said this was Neil Scanlon.
Yeah, Neil Scanlon and his team, the most amazing creature shot. And there he goes.
All right, and there we go. Huge hand for Baba Joe. I mean, essentially, this is when you're working with these types of practical effects, it's basically just whatever limits your imagination has, right? I mean, you can say, we want to build this, I want to see this, I need to populate the world in this way.
Well, here's the thing. There's of course, it's Star Wars. There's going to be a ton of visual effects. There will be CG. You can't avoid it. And the important thing for us was that we make this authentic. That we tell a story that allowed the actors to interact with and be on a set with as much authentic, real, tangible construction as possible. So sets, props, creatures, and it helped the entire process look and feel like it was actually on screen, because it was.
So the way the panel's going to work a little bit is we're going to. Oh, nice. Hey, sure, give it up. Come on.
Authenticity.
We're going to take questions sort of throughout the panel so that everyone can sort of focus a little bit. So let's go and take a couple questions for Larry and JJ and Kathleen. This first, hello. What's your name? Like I don't know. Yeah, I know it's Batman. Okay, that was a dumb question. Yeah. What's your real name? Batman. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. So, Mr. Batman, what is your question?
My question is for J.J. Abrams. And it is, what influences did you take, what amalgam of concepts did you draw upon to make this film? Whether it be the comics, video games, even other movies.
First of all, way to commit. That was amazing. I'm very proud that you got through that whole thing as Batman. JJ?
I couldn't really understand you. No.
What he said was, how did you miss
I
it?
got it. Okay. First of all, awesome costume and great question. What I think, and Larry, you could answer this, as well. I mean, we tried to sit down and ask ourselves, what feels right? And the only real mandate we had was, what delights us? It doesn't mean it has to be fun all the time and sort of, ever silly, but it means it has to be compelling. And obviously, we treated the films, 4, 5, and 6. Especially because those were things that for me were the films I grew up with. We treated those as canon. And by the way, that Larry wrote. It's insane to ask to be writing a Star Wars script with Larry Kasdan. It's like, what would Han say? I'll tell you what Han would say. I wrote Han. I know what Han sounds like. That's a perfect impersonation of Larry Kasdan.
But when we were, obviously he can't do me at all. But we won't mention that. When we talked about the light, we were talking about as something as simple as the texture of a wall. The fact that a person casts a shadow, a creature casts a shadow as he comes through the room. That you can feel that those are real weapons and those are real stormtroopers back there. It was a happy moment. We were writing very fast, we were writing really hard, and in 1 month we were walking around Santa Monica figuring out the story, and just a couple months later we're sitting in the bay of a Star Destroyer with stormtroopers drilling in front of us and still writing, of course. And it was all real. It was all real. And we said, well, we got that part right. We got that part right.
The answer was, Batman, that we wanted to tell a story that would make us feel, and that would be something that would feel like the continuum of the incredible story that George started.
Hey, the weirdest dream that I was in front of 7,000 people, and then Batman asked a question about Star Wars. Like, that's the strangest. That's my life. What is your? Thank you very much. What is your name?
Hello, my name is Lynette Grant, and this is a dream come true in so many ways. So great to be here.
Thank you. Of course. What is your question?
This question is actually for JJ, and Star Wars is precious to me. I sat on the couch with my daddy when I was a little girl, and we watched Star Wars and Star Trek and Battle Beyond the Stars. It's a precious legacy, not only to me, but I'm pretty sure to a couple of people in this room. When you get such a heavy burden and you have this precious legacy, and you have to pay homage to that, to us and the fans, and then you've got this new generation that you're building and trying to bring this alive for them. How do you approach that?
No pressure.
No.
I think, honestly, I feel more pressure answering your question than I do. It's a great question. It really is. I watched Star Wars with my parents, too. It was very much, it meant very much to me what it means to so many of you. And I feel like the answer that I can give you, the only answer I can say is, because we love it and we care about it so much, our job is to not be blinded by that. Meaning, you can't just be a fan and then say, well, you're going to make a movie because you're a fan. It's not enough. You got to really say, what's the story? I mean, I will tell you from personal experience, when you're directing a scene on the Millennium Falcon, it doesn't make the scene good. Now, it's bitching that it's on the Millennium Falcon. Like, you want a scene on the Millennium, if I could make a suggestion, direct scenes on the Millennium Falcon, because it's hugely helpful. But it doesn't make the scene automatically good. So you have to ask, it's literally storytelling 101. What do the characters want? Who are they? What makes this interesting? What's unexpected? How do you make this, it has to be fun, it has to be scary. You know, it has to, the power of what's come before is so infectious and so deep that you have to harness it, but you can't be blinded by it. And it's a constant thing working, you know, with Larry and with Kathy. We were always checks and balances saying, that's really cool, but what does it mean? You know, why are we doing this? And so I hope I'm answering your question by saying we worked as hard as we possibly could, and I can't wait to show you the movie.
Awesome. Okay, so one more question for this section. Hello.
Yeah, my question's for JJ. I just wanted to know, you did such a great job with Star Trek, the first two movies. Are you going to do each individual movie as a standalone, or are they going to be with tie-ins, or are they going to be is it going to be a serious arc?
Well, I'll let Kathy answer that because Kathy is the one who oversees every possible thing in this.
Well, obviously with the saga films, which JJ is starting the first, which is The Force Awakens, 8 and 9 will be part of that saga, but we're also making anthology films, standalone movies. And Gareth Edwards actually starts shooting in about 3 weeks. So the first one will go into production very soon.
Peter Mayhew is out here. There he is. There's Peter over there by the microphone. This is my notebook. This is the notebook that I have. This is my notebook. My notebook. All right, so now we're going to meet some of the cast. Some of whom I know you guys got to talk to a little bit in Celebration, so let's bring them out. Playing Finn, John Boyega is here. Also, Daisy Ridley. And as Poe Dameron, Oscar Isaac. Welcome. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, good. You have to bring out your own name cards now. Oh my God! Welcome. How are you guys doing?
So good.
John, can you talk a little bit about you got to walk the floor a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, how is it being on both sides? Like, sort of pre-Star Wars now. Star Wars, does it feel any different being a fan?
I mean, let's just say this, it's really complicated finding a Black Series Star Wars figure out here. I can't get through the crowd, honestly. Thank you, JJ. But it's been awesome. I mean, we walked the floor, and we got to meet you guys, we got to meet some fans by the Lucasfilm booth, and it was amazing fun. Oh, you were there? Hey, man.
But they didn't know that. They didn't know that was you, right? They didn't know that was you.
Oh yeah. So this is me walking through the Star Wars Celebration hall. Obviously, I was in disguise. I couldn't afford the rest of the costume, but it still worked. And that guy totally didn't know that was me, by the way. He was just like, dude, why you had my saber? But we had a great time. Oh, that was you? Oh, that was you in the picture. Hey, man.
That was literally you?
Oh, hey. Hey!
Oh, it was so much funnier when we thought you didn't know.
Yeah, I thought you didn't know. Oh, you shook my hand. Well, yeah, guys, yeah, man. Thank you so much, man. I love you guys, honestly. That was a great experience. I enjoyed myself.
Yeah. Actually, the odds are pretty good that guy would be here. What am I
I
saying?
know, right? Yeah.
What are the odds a Star Wars fan would be at the Star Wars panel? Oh, life's crazy.
What? Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate
It's getting very complicated.
Yeah.
It is. I know that guy just wants to have a conversation now. What are you doing later?
Hey, we'll talk later.
Want to get a taco? What do you want to do? Daisy, I want to talk about your... Daisy, yes, please. Let's talk about the physical demands that you've had at this, as compared to other stuff you've done. What was the training element like for you, and did it change you?
Firstly, we can't really compare it to other stuff we've done, because I've not really done other stuff. It was like, I think going into acting, you always hope that physically you can change yourself as well as emotionally embody a character. So to be able to have like solid months of training, though difficult, was amazing. Like our incredible stunt team. Oh my God, I've never seen those pictures. Like the most incredible stunt team. Me and John got to work together a lot. And then, as you've seen in the teaser, we were running through 125-degree heat. And those explosions were real. I mean, John then had a harder.
I'd just like to thank J.J. Abrams for filming in Abu Dhabi in the desert and making me wear a stormtrooper outfit. Thank you, J.J. You're honestly understanding.
Yeah. It's great for all the fans. Because they're like, oh, he's really going there. He's really shooting it. And the actor's like, can we just do like a green screen thing?
But yeah, it was amazing. And I think the look of it hopefully pays off. And hopefully my dress reveals my guns, because I work hard for these.
Oscar Isaac, who's playing Poe Dameron. So you said Poe was I believe the quote was best friggin' pilot in the galaxy.
Yes.
Were you given advice on your piloting? Did anything help you become a better pilot?
Well, yeah, as an excited, eager actor, I wanted to talk to Harrison about piloting and about how should I do it, is there any special things that I should do, and just how do you work with the controls, and he said, it's fake. And also it's in space, so it doesn't really, the same stuff doesn't apply. And I said, got it, I can do that. But I think really it was taking on, the character of Poe, he takes on that legacy, not only of Han, but of Luke, of being these heroic pilots. Because if you think about it, these characters, they lived those stories that we all grew up with. They grew up at the same time as those stories, I mean, Poe was probably, he was there watching on Yavin, when the medal ceremony was happening, thinking, I want to be that. I want to be a hero, and I want to take up that mantle. And I think that's what he does, he even sometimes recklessly so. But yeah, so really connecting it to that old world, it was special.
Great. Well, I want to give some of the fans opportunity to ask you guys some questions. So let's go into the audience. Ask a couple of questions. Here they come, bounding up to the. Hello.
Hello there.
What is your name?
My name is Ryan.
Hey, Ryan.
I'm Corinne.
Hello. What's your question?
This question is for JJ. What we really like about your Star Trek films is the diversity of the cast.
We would like to know, do you plan on having any Asian characters join the cast in any upcoming Star Wars films?
First of all, I want to say, go Asians. I think the whole room feels that way. Here's the thing: I'm not casting the movies that are coming up, but if I were to, I would cast them as only Asian. But I think you'll be happy to see when you see this film, there are Asians in this film. So I was involved in the casting of this movie, and but honestly, the truth is we didn't write the character of Finn to be any color. We didn't write the character of Rey to be any color. We just cast this movie knowing that it was important that we wanted the movie to look the way the world looks, and I think it's important that people see themselves represented in film. I think it's not a small thing. So I completely understand and think your question is hugely important, and it was a big consideration. But I'm really proud of the cast we ended up with. Literally, these actors are extraordinary. And when you're working as long and as hard as we all have on this movie, and you're in editing, and you see the choices you have in terms of performances, take to take, I could not be more grateful to all you guys for the work that you did. So thanks for your question.
And I will add to that, I'll speak around the corner here and add to that, there is every intention to carry on exactly what JJ's talking about in all the Star Wars movies that we're going to make.
Excellent. Good catching question. Yes, sir.
Hi, Chris. My name is Monty Goulet. My question is for JJ. JJ, when you did the previous unreleased IPs such as Lost and Fringe, you did a lot of transmedia. And now you're doing transmedia for Star Wars, one of the biggest IPs ever with a big, expansive universe. Is there anything you would do to take away from Star Wars when you build a new IP again in the future?
Don't answer that.
What Kathy doesn't want me to say, no, this is what I think. I'm interested that you use the term IP so frequently. But I will say this, I don't think of Star Wars as, I don't even know how to answer that question. I appreciate it, but the answer I can give you is, this is a story, and these are characters that we love, and so none of us, I think, are thinking about it from the outside in like that. And it's weird because you come to something like this and you want to make everyone happy and you want to show something that makes everyone excited, but the truth is we're just working really hard to make a movie and tell a story, and when things come up that we know we need to do to sell it and market it, we want that to be as authentic as the piece itself. So I'm not quite sure what the strategy would be, but I know that if we thought of it as an IP, I think it would end up being a very different film.
Mr. Goulet suffers from lawyer syndrome, when we talk about an IP.
Monty hates me. I'm so sorry. Okay, thank you.
Oh, you got a thumbs up. You got a thumbs up in the heart.
It's all
Monty. Emoji heart. Yes, what is your name, sir?
Oh, hi. My name is Scott, and my question is for all of you guys, depending on if you can answer this. Thanks.
Can I live with you?
What? Anyways, my question is, what's it like to work with the original cast of the legends, say like Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, and Carrie Fisher?
Yeah, let's throw that to the cast. What was it like for you guys? Let's start with Oscar.
Harrison thought I was wearing a wig. So that was fun. That was cool.
Yeah. What about you, Dave?
It was going from an outside fan, going into filming Star Wars. I think working with the legends that have already made this kind of universe and are coming back to it was everything we could have hoped for and more. They're funny and warm and welcoming and made us feel as part of the universe as they already are. So it was great.
Excellent, John.
I have to say my greatest memory was taking Harrison Ford to a Nigerian restaurant in southeast London and walking in and seeing all these Nigerians absolutely frozen at the sight of Harrison Ford. And this guy comes up to him and says, "Are you Harrison Ford?" Harrison Ford goes, "I used to be."
Thank you very much for your question. One more question for now. Yes, what is your name?
Yeah, my name's Mario, and this is for the whole panel, including Chris.
What?
All right, if you guys were Jedis in real life, what color would each of your lightsabers be?
I'm gonna go to blue right away.
Listen, I'm gonna say red.
Oh.
I have to say red.
I would like to have the first black.
Ooh.
Excellent.
I'd say gold.
Then I'm going to say silver.
I'll go rainbow colored.
Yeah, that's the best answer. That was the best answer. Better. Thank you. Hey, nice to see you. All right, so we've seen the light side, but what you guys haven't seen yet is a little taste of the dark side. So I would like to bring out some people that are, let's call them relevant to your interests. As Kylo Ren, please welcome Adam Driver! As General Hux, Donald Gleason! And as Captain Phasma, Gwendolyn Christie! So let's start with Adam. The images that we've seen, we've seen some intense images, we've seen exciting images. Can you tell us a little bit about your character's connection to the dark side?
Well, Captain Phasma is a first order. I'm just speaking while.
Let her go, yeah.
This is so out of control.
This is. Can I just say something though? You know you're on Game of Thrones, right?
Game of who?
Okay, never mind.
You're on Game of Thrones. That's amazing.
Adam, what can you tell us about your connection to the dark side? Can you tell us anything?
No.
Okay. Now, Donald, there is this sort of an unspoken tradition in the original Star Wars of bad guys being these sort of, let's call them humorless British types and kind of nasty fashion.
Are you moving on to me and you're letting him get away with
Well,
it?
I can't. He's not. There's nothing he can say. Yeah, that was it. That was
Come
it.
on,
That
gotta
was...
say something. Adam, say something.
What do you want me to say?
Who are you?
That's a good question.
Yeah, see? He doesn't even... Can you tell us anything about you? Oh.
Oh, man.
I mean, what can I say? We didn't really have a lot of conversations about bad or evil, actually, when we were shooting it. It was more, what do you think is the difference between being bad and being right, I think, which is a huge difference. Someone who thinks they're bad is almost kind of like a selfish thing, and it's mostly about them and hurting somebody else, to get what they want. But thinking they're right is something different. That's almost more evil. A group of people who have decided that that they're morally justified in behaving a certain way. And I think that's what we kind of approached it in less like a bad person.
Sure, because no character would really go, I am evil. Like, they just want what they want, and that doesn't always jive with what everyone else wants.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
That line is in the film, though. I am evil.
It's a huge spoiler.
Yeah.
Well, Donald, what can you tell us about your character?
I am evil.
Okay. Are you though, really? Is your character flat out evil?
He's British, so yeah.
Using a large weaponized machine to attain something?
Yeah, just like the British. Yeah. Yeah.
So, Gwendolyn, you are covered in head to toe in armor, which I feel like is very familiar for you. How do you, does that get in the way when you're trying to portray a character and you have this kind of cumbersome stuff that you have to work around? Or do you work it into the character?
I found it exciting because I found it not only exciting that there was a female stormtrooper, but it was the opportunity to explore a female character that is totally not about the way she looks in flesh. And that armor is exterior and it's more like the outside feeding in. And I just found it very exciting that underneath that armor is a woman. And I think it makes it really more relevant than ever.
Excellent. I'm sure you have a couple of questions for the dark side, so let's turn on the light and let a couple people ask some questions. Lights. Oh, magic. Yes, you sir.
Hello, it's good to meet the bad guys. I wanted to know, because I was at Star Celebration, and I got to hear John and Daisy and Oscar's story about their reaction when they were cast in Star Wars, so I'd like to hear the three new people. What was your reaction when you found out you were going to be in Star Wars?
That's what you said? Really? It was, I met with JJ and Mr. Lawrence Kasdan, and they told me the story and who the guy was, and that he was in charge of people on a Star-Killer base sort of thing. And, hang on. Is that all right? Yeah, that's fine.
That's okay.
Do you want to talk about that for a second?
No.
What a jerk. Yeah, the name of the base of the First Order is in honor of the original last name of Luke Skywalker is Starkiller Base, spoiled by Donald Gleason.
What else do you want to know?
You can't fire him now, so it's all fine.
They can.
Yeah. What about you? Gwendoline?
I just didn't think it could possibly really happen. I thought that when I heard it was sort of happening and going for fittings and things, I still thought there's every chance that they can just replace me with someone else. And every day was the most surreal, bizarre experience of, well, like it is for all of you. It's in such a part of the fabric of your being, and then you're suddenly involved in it.
No, I don't know what it's like to be in Star Wars.
Actually, I was just in the car coming here and kind of realized then and thought, I should have thought of some things to say.
Yeah. Hello, what is your name, sir?
Hi, my name is Jonathan.
And what is your question, Jonathan?
Is there going to be any mention of Darth Plagueis in Episode 7, maybe surrounding a certain staff that someone finds?
Is that...
Larry? You want to answer that?
I don't think I heard correct. Is it Darth Vegas? Like Las Vegas? Darth Vader?
No, Larry's messing with you. I don't think we don't want to be talking about story too much too soon, but I will say no.
Great. Let's take.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's take one more question. Hey.
How's it going again? Good.
Pretty sweet. How are you?
Good. Gwendolyn, I just want to say you're a goddess. I think you already knew that. Short and sweet. Cast. Just want to know, are you part of the light side or the dark side of the Force?
You mean in real life? You want to know?
I just want to know which is their preference, if they had to choose.
Oh.
Okay. Let's start with John. One word answer.
Oh, I wouldn't be involved in any of that. I'd be Han Solo trying to make some money.
Yeah. Another chaotic good.
And I'd be his sidekick.
Oscar.
Say light set. Light set of the Force.
Adam.
Dark.
Yeah, me too.
I like to go dark.
Excellent. We're just gonna suspend questions for a second because at this point, I don't know. I thought it might be kind of fun to bring out Carrie Fisher.
What are you doing here? What are the odds?
Hi, Carrie Fisher.
Oh, hi. Hi,
So-
my darling. How are you? Nothing. Okay.
So, can you give us a little? I'm sure you've been answering this question a lot, but we're all here, and
Did I
feel
know it was going to be that big of a hit?
Well, yes, I was thinking that, but I was afraid to ask it. But so my other question is, what was the feeling like for you when you walked on a set and you saw this all come to life again? I mean, I know you've lived with it for a long time, but to see it so tangibly and to be a part of it again, what was that feeling like?
It was like a flashback, kind of. I thought they were right about the acid flashbacks. I didn't think that it was going to happen again. I did check and see if, it was just me. Is my voice coming out of my mouth. No, it was, I always said it was a little bit like before, only we looked more melted this time. But in a good way. That kind of force melted.
Mm-hmm. And did it feel like you just picked up where you left off before, or did it feel like a new experience?
Well, sort of like we picked up where we left off, but we left off a while ago. So it was a long leave off, and then we're back. Now, there were certain times when the three of us were standing together, and it was hard to sort of be there and then observe an observer. So, but we're the legacy players. We're known as the legacy people. So I always think it was kind of like a tap dancing troupe or something like that. But it was great. And it was great having the new people, because they do it faster.
Well, speaking of legacy people, maybe I should bring out Mark Hamill!
Yes.
We have a picture of you from 1976, which I'm sure people have seen. Can we throw that up there? There's you from 1976 with the original. I have that. That's an original Ralph McQuarrie design. I have one of those. And so this was before Star Wars came out, and you were at a fan convention because that was actually a part of your life before. What are you telling people about Star Wars before it's come out? You're like, I'm in a space movie. I hope you see it. Like, what do you say at that point?
Well, we only had photographs. There was no footage. And I went with Charlie Lippincott, and I think it was in Kansas. We had R2-D2 as a prop. We had C-3PO, although Anthony Daniels wasn't inside the costume. But as you can imagine, with only 25 photographs of various scenes in the movie, it wasn't really easy to describe what it was. But my enthusiasm for it was just off the charts, and I've been a fan. I think my first convention I ever went to was at the Ambassador Hotel in 1972. So I was, I've been a fan since I caught the black and white King Kong on television when I was 5 or 6 years old, and I think the fans understand that. I mean, I'm one of them. And they're obviously, over my career, they've been a really important part of my life. And, because without you guys, we're nothing.
Is there anything, this is a very momentous occasion having you guys together on stage like this. I mean, is there anything, a message that you have to the fans who've been on this journey since 1976? Is there anything to take away from it?
Wow. Like I say, keep coming back, yes, but no, it's hard to describe because when I meet you on the street, everyone has a story. I met my wife at the premiere of Jedi, or my son is named Luke, or whatever it is. It's such a personal connection, and it's very moving to me. It's sometimes hard to absorb the impact you could have had. It's almost like an out-of-body experience. you know, because it's I see it put together. It's not me. It's Luke. But I've never taken it for granted, and like I say, I'm moved by the connection to the world. I mean, now suddenly you become you're a friend to everyone. I mean, when my wife and I went to Tahiti on our honeymoon, thinking there's nobody gonna know about this movie way out in this paradise. And we were on the back porch of the little hut on the water, and I saw a motorboat coming towards the back of, coming towards us. And as it got closer and closer and closer, I thought I was losing my mind, because at the helm was a guy in a Darth Vader mask. In Tahiti. Turns out somebody bought it in Hawaii and came to Tahiti. They were filming a movie. Dino De Laurentiis was making Hurricane, and the accountant on the film had done Star Wars. And he said, "You know what would really surprise Mark? Drive up to his hut in your Darth Vader mask." So.
No, but it's true. When you hear people that they come and they say, I waited to show my daughter. I wanted to make sure I showed my kids. There was something that you can do as a family. You want to make sure you show them at the right time, and then you watch them like, if we don't like the same character, I'm not going to like my kid.
Yeah, it's a generational thing now. So, my son, who was born when we were doing Empire Strikes Back now, he's the real Star Wars expert in my family. I hate to tell you guys, I took a Star Wars trivia contest or quiz and flunked. I said, I can't remember what Han Solo was smuggling. Was it jewels or it was spices? You guys now, I think ownership, I've ceded ownership to the world at large. Years ago.
You crazy siblings. JJ, is Harrison okay? Has he been okay?
Well, why don't we see for ourselves?
Ladies and gentlemen, Harrison Ford! I really have to do this. I apologize. I made them all take a picture backstage, and I took a selfie, and I completely blocked Harrison Ford in the picture, like an ass. So if everyone could just lean in a little bit. Thank you. Got him. All right. First of all, thank you for coming out, Harrison Ford. How are you feeling? Are you feeling good? Are you feeling okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Good.
How are you?
I'm okay.
Good.
I'm at a Star Wars panel.
Great. Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you very much. Great.
They're asking about your foot.
My foot just walked here.
Yeah, he seems fine. Not just walked, he bounded up the stairs.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm really appreciative. Thank you. Thank you for asking.
Of course.
Thank you for asking.
Absolutely. What, from your point of view, walking back onto the set, working with JJ, seeing Millennium Falcon, like what did all that feel like?
Well, it should have felt ridiculous. It was 34 years ago, and I sort of grew up, and yet here I was doing something I did so long ago, and I will tell you that it felt great. It felt... I wasn't so sure it would, but the company was the right company. The director was the right director. Larry wrote us a wonderful story, and I was proud and grateful to once again be involved. You know, the original Star Wars that I was part of really was the beginning of my working life, and I was very, very grateful for the opportunity that I had in that film and for the success of that film. And so it was great to be back. Thank you.
Of course. I mean, I don't think there was one person that I knew when we saw that other footage that you released not that long ago, and you do the "we're home." Like every dude that I knew, I called like, "Did you cry? Yeah, I cried. Did you cry too? You cried. I cried. I cried. I watched it 3 times. I cried 3 times." So, you know, we all are a part of this as well, and it's so meaningful that 3 of you agreed to be in this and really kind of bring us home, all together bring us home in a weird sort of way. So, I want to, now that everyone is out on the panel, I would love to throw it to the audience to ask a couple of questions, as I'm sure you're eager to do. So let's start with you, sir. Hi, what's your name?
Hello, my name is Bradley. How are you?
Hey, Bradley, make sure and lean into the microphone.
Yeah, will do.
Okay.
So this is a question for the returning cast, but if any of the other cast or crew want to answer as well, feel free to do so. What stands out to you as the biggest difference in terms of theme in this new movie compared to the original trilogy?
I don't know that it's a difference in theme. It's a development of theme, and it's a natural progression of the that has occurred from the stories that we told in the first 3, and perhaps an emotional rounding of the experience that we all had in the first 3 films.
I was just glad I didn't have to go to Toshi Station and pick up any power converters.
Information vital to the survival of the rebellion of the memory system of the ZAR-2 unit. I don't want to do that again. But I didn't have to. We were more grown up this time, I think.
It was, I didn't have to say it'll take a few minutes for the Navic computer to calculate the core.
My favorite.
Thank you, Larry.
Thank you for your question. Hi, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Daniel. I had a different question, but seeing the cast here, I have to ask. Thank you for coming.
That's a good question. What I have to...
Well, thinking back, did you ever think that what were your expectations of what your characters were going to end up in before the movie? Like, where did you think Han Solo would end up? Where did you think Luke would have ended up? And so forth.
So that's all I am to you is so forth.
Oh my God!
Exactly.
You just Gilligan's Island her, and the rest. That's terrible.
I thought it was going to be more girly this time, and we would do like a shopping planet and facials. Very weird laser hair removal, but it turned out differently. So that was okay too.
Mark?
Well, I don't know. I mean, when you find out that the only woman that you really fell head over heels with is your sister.
Yeah. It's tough.
It's telling you something. So I had a feeling I'd probably wind up like Sir Alec in the first one, living in some igloo out in the desert, with just in therapy, but with just no human contact, just droids.
You don't think you did? First question on a date. You're not my sister, are you? No. Okay, good.
Exactly. I want a blood test. No, seriously, because we all laugh about it, but when you follow it through, that must have been quite the traumatic experience for my character. You know what I'm saying? Because we were both after her in
I'm sorry.
I'll get over it someday.
My mother.
My sister, my mother.
Harrison, do you have a thought about where Han might have ended up?
No, it never occurred to think about it because I never expected that it would come back to bless me rather than haunt me. It was. I never thought that we would do another, and it was only. I was very gratified when I read the script because I read something that I thought was really remarkable, really well written, and with some very intriguing developments. And so I was delighted to be involved, and I was very happy to be part of the story and the cast again.
Excellent. Well, I want a huge hand for Star Wars: The Force Awakens.